Alright guys, let's discover what's really new in Photoshop 2023. Most new features in Adobe Photoshop 2023 or updates are heavily using AI or artificial intelligence, which is really cool, and I think it's gonna be doing the heavy lifting for us in many scenarios. So without further ado, let's go ahead and discover these new features. Starting with Object Selection tool, and indeed that's not a new tool in Photoshop. However, we do have major updates for that tool. So if we go ahead and select that one, which you can find in here, and once you do have that one selected, you can see that we have some loading time in here. If you do have Object Finder enabled, then we can start hovering over our design elements. We can see that Photoshop is detecting these design elements in here. So let's say, for example, we would like to get rid of that one here. We can click in here. We do have a clean selection. Then we can right click and select delete and fill selection, which is, by the way, quite similar to content aware fill. However, we're gonna be selecting that one here. We can zoom in. And as you can see, guys, we got rid of that one. Maybe it's not that perfect. However, we can work on that using maybe healing brush tool or something like that. Or even spot healing brush tool. You can blend these like so. Or even enlarging our brush and going like that. Of course, if you're seeking perfection. And if we go ahead and select our Object Selection tool once again, then zooming out. Now, as you can see, it's loading again in here. If you don't like that loader, you can disable that option. Then let's go ahead and maybe select that camera in here. And if you'd like to delete and fill that one, you can right click and select that one in here, or use Shift and delete or Shift and backspace on Windows. It's supposed to be Shift and delete as well in Windows. However, now it's not working like that in there. So if you are a Windows user, you can use Shift and backspace, or you can go with that menu, delete and fill selection. However, let's see the difference if we go ahead and select content aware fill. Now, as you can see, guys, we do have a preview in here, and that's our result. If we're going to use content aware fill, we can, of course, enhance that result by removing the sampling area from here, like so. And the cup, we don't need it, and also that one in here. You do have a little bit more control in here. However, it's not looking even amazing. So let's maybe keep removing more from that image. It's taking more time, as you can see. I'm zooming out. Maybe I'm missing something, guys. It's giving me a very bad result, as you can tell. However, in other scenarios, maybe it will be working great. So keep that in mind. I'm not gonna keep refining that image, and let's cancel that. Also, we do have more improvements to the Object Selection tool. So for example, it can detect more details in your images, like sky detection, and maybe minor details like that subject in here. It's detecting that phone and these hands. So you can have separate selections for your elements for quicker results. Also, you can customize your settings by going to that cog in here. If you'd like to have a different color instead of magenta, maybe blue like default, you can do that from here. And even now we're gonna go and discover more AI features in Photoshop. So for example, we do have that old image in here, and we would like to restore that one. We do have filters, neural filters. Adobe has been working on these filters, and they are adding or enhancing some of these filters. So for example, we do have photo restoration. We need to download that one. Currently it's still in beta, as you can see, and it's also a large one. Alright, we finally got that one downloaded. We do have these sliders in here. Photo enhancement. We can start sliding that one. We can also do scratch reduction, like so. And as you can see, guys, it totally destroyed our guy. So let's remove that slider, maybe a little bit, 50%. Let's see what we get. Oh, it's so messy as well. Maybe 14. Oh, I don't really like that. So let's see if we do have more adjustments in there. Let's keep it maybe 5. We're losing his nose in here. That's a little bit better. We do have noise reduction, so let's try that one. Color noise reduction as well. I think noise reduction is a bit safer than scratch reduction. Then we can enhance these scratches using brush healing tool or something like that, or healing brush tool. Halftone, Why not? Then let's do JPEG artifacts as well. And as you can see, I think we do have a nice and decent result that we can start building on. And indeed, it's gonna be saving us tons of time. And you know what, let's even enhance face all the way to here and see what we get. We do have a very nice result. We can export that one to a new layer, then press OK. That's what the filter did, and that will be our original image. A huge improvement indeed. We can start using one of these tools, maybe spot healing brush tool. Then let's zoom in. We can start reducing our brush and go all the way like that and keep refining these results. Then maybe if you'd like to add colors, you can go again to filter, then select neural filters once more. Then you can download colorize, which is not a new feature in that edition, but it's gonna be colorizing your image using AI as well. And by the way guys, under restoration you can find JPEG artifacts removal, which you can enable. And if you are wondering about JPEG artifacts, basically they are happening due to JPEG compression. So here you do have strength, high, you can try medium or high. Let's apply that. But we already used that one previously in our restoration filter, so I don't really see a new result in here that much. Maybe it's softening our image a little bit. And as you can see guys, that's not a great result by any mean. However, it's a good point to start with. Speaking of neural filters, we do have a new filter which is currently in beta. And actually it's also in Photoshop beta by the way. And if you're wondering how to download Adobe Photoshop beta version, you can go to your Creative Cloud app, and here on left side you can find beta apps. Then you can find all these beta apps to download and experiment with. So let's go to that beta version of Photoshop. Then here we do have filter. Let's go to neural filters. You can find here under creative backdrop, which is a little bit like DALL-E and Midjourney and all these new AI art services. Of course you'll need to download that one, then enable that one in here, and all you need to do is write a prompt in here. So let's type maybe something like cave in illustrated way. Okay, let's maybe try that one. Maybe we should have created a new layer before tried that filter. So let's output that one to a new layer group as it is and press OK and see what we get. So here we do have our original image. Let's place that one on top of our background image. We can start scaling that one like so. And even we can try a new filter to make them matching a little bit. So going back to filter, neural filters, here we do have harmonize. We need to download that one first. Once you download that one, you can enable that one, then select a layer, background layer. You can increase the strength to match sliding of our background and foreground subjects. We can even try that slider a little bit. Maybe something like that. And as you can tell guys, that's only a very quick demonstration for these AI features, but for sure they can be saving you so much time when you're working on your coming projects. Also in Photoshop 2023 we do have live gradients. So here we do have a PNG image, doesn't have a background, and let's say we would like to create a gradient. For that one we can create a new layer, rearrange our layers, and this also currently in Photoshop beta. Hopefully it will be available in Photoshop updates soon. Then let's select gradient tool. We can start drawing a gradient like so. As you can see guys, we can double click in here. We can change our hues. Maybe that one like that, and that one can be maybe darker. We can even add color stops. Double clicking in here, we can adjust that image. Maybe like so. We can even see which color can be dominating more, something like that. You can also start with a ready-made gradient for you from these gradients in here in your gradient panel. You can select any of these gradients, maybe that one, then you can start adjusting that gradient. by double clicking in here, or even you can change your angle and also length like so. And remember guys, you do have more control in your properties panel. So for example, you do have angle, scale, type, if it's gonna be solid or noise, and more controls in here as you can see. Also speaking of selections, we do have amazing new updates to our camera raw filter. So here for example, we do have that image for these guys. We do have our layers panel. Let's go ahead and go to filter, convert for smart filters. So we can re-edit our camera raw filter again, going back to filter, then selecting camera raw filter as you can see. As you can see guys, it's using AI powered masking like selecting people, objects, and backgrounds. Even you get to use healing with content aware remove as well within your camera raw filter, and some cool presets for your portraits, and much more like curves and masking, and also highlight heaven, which is as you can see currently technology preview. So let's go ahead and get started. And as you can see guys, we do have our edit tab selected, which is including our basics like temperature, exposure, contrast, and all these basic editing stuff. However, here we do have masking and selection tab, and instantly guys, once we selected that mask tab, we can see that we do have people recognized for us, person 1 and 2, where we can mask them and start adjusting them. Also, we can create new masks. So for example, if we have a sky in there, we can add a sky mask or a background mask like that one in here. And notice guys that we do have that mask one selected, which is a background mask. We can start maybe messing around with exposure, which is really looking amazing as you can see. You can work on your highlights as well, or even you can change temperature. Scrolling down, you can see that you do have more control. Then we can go ahead and create a new mask, clicking in here. So let's go ahead, select subject, which is gonna be these guys in here. We can start working on exposure as well, or maybe dimming them a little bit to bring attention and focus to them. Maybe you can mess with blacks a little bit and color, maybe something like that. Then we can move to our healing brush tool. You can find content aware remove tool. So for example, let's zoom in and let's try to remove that button in here, which is working like magic. Also here on our right side, we can find that we have presets. If we select that one, let's zoom out. So for example, we do have portraits, black and white. You can select that one or that one. Just like that, instantly you can apply a nice preset. Maybe that one, it's really cool in here. If you like that one, you can click and you're good to go. Also in Photoshop 2023, you can collaborate with other designers. So you can click in here to share your design, invite to edit for example. And before you do that, you need to save your document as a cloud document, which you can do by clicking continue. Then you can click save and you're good to go. And now as you can see guys, it's saving the document, and we do have a BSDC file, which is a Photoshop cloud document in here. Then you can copy that link and send it to another designer, or you can type his email in here. And from that point, he can start editing on your design. So it's really recommended to save a copy for yourself on your computer as well, in case he misses your file. And also another feature in here, if you click on that share button, you can find that you can share that one for review, and it's also currently in beta. Maybe in that scenario, you can send that file to your client or maybe another designer as well. But in that case, you're not asking him to design for you or design with you. He's gonna be giving you his own opinion. Also another miscellaneous stuff, if you don't like that bobbing blue color in here, you can go to your settings, which you can find under Photoshop preferences. That's of course if you are using Mac. However, you can find these preferences in Windows under edit menu in here. So if you go to preferences, interface, you can select neutral color mode, which will be graying out that button if you find that one a little bit distracting. Also, what's really cool is that you can search for specific preferences within your preferences panel. So you can click in here and start searching maybe for type or something like that, and you'll find type options, enable type layer glyphs and stuff like that, which is really a handy feature, of course, especially if you're feeling a little bit lost in here. And that's it, guys, for the new features of Adobe Photoshop 2023. I see lots of AI being utilized in here, which is really amazing and powerful tool to be in each designer's hand. I think it's making our life easier and saving us tons of time as well. So make sure to unleash your creativity using these new features and these new tools, and I'll be seeing you in next one.